Hi, my name is Mary Sandholm, and welcome to my kitchen in Chester, New Hampshire. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make one of my favorite entrees. It's a cream cheese lasagna with spinach and mushroom in it. So firstly, I'm going to tell you what you need to make this. I have a 14.5-ounce jar of stewed tomatoes, 10 to 12 ounces of tomato paste, 1 package of sliced baby bella mushrooms, 2 to 3 cups of thawed spinach, about a tablespoon of minced dried onion, about a tablespoon of sugar, a third cup of milk, 2 cups of cheese, 6 to 9 pieces of lasagna noodles, and a few different herbs that I'll talk about as we go on. So first thing, I have some water that's boiled. I'm going to put 6 to 9 lasagna noodles in, depending on how many layers you want. So in go 6 of these. Now I'm going to saute my spinach, and that is over medium to medium high heat. So in goes the spinach, and like I said, it's thawed, but it was frozen at one point. And we're going to let this cook down for a bit before we put the mushrooms in to make sure there's not a lot of ice in here. And my mushrooms to my spinach is still cool, but there's no more ice in it. And the mushrooms aren't going to take too long to simmer down, and neither is the spinach, because, like I said, it's frozen. It's not going to take much to get soft and be good in our lasagna. Now that this is in and simmering and cooking together, I'm going to get my sauce started. And I'm making a sauce from scratch. So I have some stewed tomatoes, so it makes them really easy to mash up or cut up when you put them in if you don't like big chunks. And I'm just going to kind of give these a good mash in the pot and add my tomato paste in. And that's going to simmer over medium to medium low heat. Into our tomato sauce, I'm going to put my milk, and that's about a third a cup. And that's going to help make it creamy because that tomato paste is a really strong tomato flavor. I'm going to put in some herb mix, and that's just some dry cilantro with some garlic salt, and that's going to take care of your salt pretty much for both of these because there's a lot of salt and garlic salt. Like I said, that's going into both these 2 pots in the front here. Alright. Also for herbs, I have some fresh cut garlic along with some fresh chopped basil. And these are going to go again into both of these pots. And I don't do too many seasoning components to any individual part of this dish just because it's going to come together and you're going to be able to taste all these flavors together, and it's going to be so good. So we're going to mix these to combine. We're also going to put into our tomato sauce about a tablespoon of sugar. And this is going to help counteract that acidity in there, make it a little bit sweeter, not so bitter. And we're just going to let these keep cooking. Alright, now that our tomato sauce is pretty hot and our vegetables are just about all the way sauteed down, I am going to put minced onions into my spinach and mushrooms. And these are dried minced onions, and they're going to help when they go into the lasagna absorb some of the extra moisture that might come out of these vegetables in the oven. And to my tomato sauce, our first component of Philadelphia cream cheese going in, I'm going to put about 2 ounces in. So about a quarter of a brick of 8 ounce. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes now, so my noodles are al dente after being in boiling water. I'm going to take these over to my sink and drain them out while these 2 components finish up with their heat, and then we'll be ready to start stacking. Now would also be a good time to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You're probably going to want to leave your lasagna noodles in just a little bit of water so that in between handling them they don't get all stuck together and you end up ripping them apart when you're trying to layering them, because that's never any fun. So everything in our veggies is soft and smelling amazing, and our tomato sauce is nice and creamy. You can smell the garlic in it. And we're going to start layering these for our next step. But first thing, we want to get our 6x11 casserole pan and put a little bit of grease in the bottom so nothing's going to stick. Now we're ready to start stacking our lasagna. First thing that's going to go down is our sauce. Because even though we have some oil in the bottom of this pan, those noodles, because they're al dente, are going to absorb a lot more liquid when it's in the oven. So you want to make sure there's something on the bottom before the noodles so they can soak something up rather than sticking to the pan. So we're just going to line the bottom of our pan with some of our creamy tomato sauce, homemade tomato sauce, and think of it this way. Next time you have friends over for spaghetti, you have your own sauce recipe. And you can put any seasonings you like in it. Whatever tastes good to you. I want this to be your favorite recipe now, too. Alright, so our sauce is down, and we're going to start with our noodles next. And they may be a little long for your pan, because I know mine are. So we're just going to tear them. You know, doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to taste good. Tear them to fit, and we're going to do 2 to 3 or 4, depending on how many noodles you like. Our next layer is going to be some cream cheese that I put in my microwave to soften up just for about 30 seconds. We don't want it to be hot. We want it to be warm and spreadable. So that's going on our noodles now. And if you're enthusiastic lasagna eaters, like I know my family is, you're going to notice a couple key components missing. First of which probably would be the beef. Where's the ground beef? I'm vegetarian, and I know there's a lot more people out there now who are vegetarian as well. And I like to teach people it's easy to be vegetarian, it's easy to cook vegetarian meals, and it's still going to taste good, and everybody in your family is still going to like it. Alright, after our cream cheese, our veggies. And we're just going to keep up this pattern, sauce, noodles, cream cheese, veggies, until your pan is full. On this last layer, either use all of your ingredients or just a few so you have some left over for sampling before you taste the whole finished project together. And then the cheese is done and the veggies go on. That cheese going on top is going to make a gooey, cheesy crust when this comes out of the oven. And clean up our edges. And I have about 2 cups here, and I'm probably going to use all of it. Look at that. Cheesy goodness. Now, like I said, our oven's at 350 degrees. I'm going to put this in the oven for about 15 minutes, and I'll take it out and let it rest for 10 minutes. So in we go on the top rack. And putting it on the top rack will help that cheese get a nice broil to it. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes now, and the lasagna is just brown on the top. So I'm going to pull this out. Like I said before, we're going to let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes, and I just can't wait any longer to dig it. So here's our lasagna. It has a little bit of broiled cheese on the top, makes it nice for us to dig into. Take a knife and cut myself a piece. I get a little bit of everything, that cream cheese, noodles, and veggies, that hot cheese on the top. It's so good. The tomato sauce tastes better than anything you could ever get from a can. That cheese on the top gives it such a deep flavor along with the cream cheese. Oh, and then the veggies, the spinach and the mushroom, taste meaty, but so much more than ground beef could ever pull off. So I'm going to go finish this up. I hope you enjoy. Thanks.